Hello, welcome back to Karagor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon Session 64, and now I'm gonna get a drink of water.
That is appropriate.
All right, so who remembers what we did, and who wants to go ahead and go over the
Recap?
recap?
Good question. I could roll the thing. I think last time was...
I think I did it recently.
Did you do it, or was it... It might have been you. I think it was you. So we'll see who the other people are. Hey, John, do you want to give the recap? Sam?
Sure. So, it was Friday night. Not all of us heard the explosion. And then Duran and John were teleported at the end of their performance into the house that the rest of the party was robbing. We went to the wall where the explosion was, and we saw the Grim, and we got attacked by the Grim, and almost died to the Grim. But we beat the Grim, and John learned he can go invisible. And Gambit went down. Durand was miraculously unscathed.
First time ever.
Really a miracle.
We finished with the Grim, and then we went back to the inn, but it wasn't there. And then it was there at the exact time that we had disappeared. And so John and Grand both more or less went invisible. I think Grand Missy stepped, and John just went
Turned invisible and entered the building. You went
No,
into
he
the,
went
you went
into
into the ethereal
plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then reappeared like it was a trick behind the bar. And then Thicket apparently was shell shocked.
Whoa! Wherever that came from.
Someone was very excited about the surprise that we had made.
Apparently.
My parents are watching Survivor.
Adorable.
I've never heard that statement.
Yeah, I'm glad they're excited.
And then we all leveled up, and then a bunch of us went shopping.
Yeah, we ended off after you ended up finishing fighting the Grim, getting back to the performance just in time. You found out that somehow, presumably, Grace told or gave the information to Sasha while you were at the fight, and Sasha and her guards immediately arrested Clifton upon his return to his house. So he's been taken care of. And you've pretty much come to the conclusion that you're kind of done in town for the moment, and you're finishing up whatever preparations you have on the Saturday before you leave the next morning. We did already go through a couple of things. I believe that Jack and Garant have already gone and said their goodbyes to the leather worker and the smith, being Fabian and I believe it's Adrian.
Yep.
Yeah, Fabian and Adrian. Finished getting a couple of their things prepared. I think y'all bought some more potions. Now it's whatever left. I know Thicket wants to speak to Sasha, is that right?
I do not remember.
Well, Garon does. Garon's going to ask about the possibility of any of those magic books.
So are y'all specifically asking for Sasha, given what John is attempting to do, as John is looking for a potential magical weapon. I assume y'all are going to ask for Sasha and talk with her for the purchasing.
Yeah.
She would eventually come down. What can I do for you all?
We've got some questions, some requests, and so forth.
Okay.
John, ask away.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a magical weapon, because we just fought some Grim last night, and apparently regular weapons don't hurt them very much.
Yes, they're quite resistant to standard weapons. Magical, definitely helps, though. Are you looking for any particular type of weapon?
A melee of some sort. A sword of some kind would be nice.
Alright, and she would talk to you about a few weapons, some of which you can't wield, and the ones that you would end up coming through that you can, and I'll put them and their prices in the chat. She mentions a spring S-stock, which is it's very similar to a rapier, but a bit heavier, and is designed more to break through armor, is what an S-stock is. And the spring effect, as it's referred to, is effectively the S-stock is a lesser healing sort of weapon, and so it has a pool of energy that can store up to 30 hit points, and you can use your action to plant the weapon in the ground and use the energy. Creatures that end their turn within 10 feet of the weapon within the weapon are showered in a warm rain that restores 1 HP per round, and a long rest restores 1d6 HP of energy from that pool. So over the course of days, it'll restore its energy, and then you can use it to heal a little bit at a time. It's not very great for in-combat healing, but it does allow you to restore hit points out of combat, and like all these weapons, does deal magical damage. There's a runic rapier for 75 gold that does deal magic damage, as well as its primary ability is whenever the user is concentrating on a spell, the weapon becomes empowered and functions as a +1 weapon. It gives +1 to attack and damage rolls while you're concentrating on a spell. Party actually ran into one of these a long time ago, before he was ever in the party. That was a runic sickle at the time. This one is of a similar design. There's also a moonlight short sword, which is a magical weapon that whenever you are in complete darkness, the weapon glows with moonlight, shedding dim light for 15 feet. It might be bright and then dim, bright 15, dim 15, I don't remember for sure, of a dim moonlight. And then a standard magically enhanced shotelle, which is a curved short sword of sorts that you should have proficiency in, that gives a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls all the time.
The Moonlight Short Sword, does that do magic damage at all or no?
It does. All of these weapons do magical damage.
I'm gonna go with the Moonlight Short Sword.
Okie doke. I will prepare that and add it to your sheet. In the meantime, Garon, do you add questions as well?
Yeah, so the elves talk about ancient magics that were stored in manuals and tomes that would allow one to, upon completion of reading them, gain exceptional insight. It was a magical enhancement to one's natural abilities. I know that they have to take a while to recharge, and I was just curious if we might be able to look through your library if you have them and see if maybe they recharged, and maybe you'd let me borrow one and I would return it to you, that it would still stay in your library.
Well, we do have access to 2 of these manuals. They are far from useful. If you'd like to take a look at them, you can, but the magical effects will not be how you'd like.
You're saying that they're not ready yet?
No.
And you're not talking like a few weeks or months?
No, we have 2. The first one, which is a manual regarding wisdom, is about 25 years left on its time, if I remember correctly.
Ah, yes, the Tome of Understanding. Definitely would be useful for me. I'm not very good at understanding things all the time. Go on.
I remember the other tomes. That's the one for Constitution.
That's the manual of
Bodily Health?
bodily health, yes. Well said.
Bodily Health has 37 years left.
Well, that is unfortunate. Perhaps, maybe I'll have a child, and when he goes adventuring, or her, maybe she will.
Perhaps, and I wish you luck. Maybe you'll find one in a crypt somewhere. But unfortunately, in a place like this, I believe it was many years ago when I rented out their use.
No, it's not a problem. But you don't know if you don't ask, so, I figured, hey, what if I find out?
Checking.
Yeah, is there any other book that you feel would be quite useful? Any other magical books? Because, I can't really go to a magical super library where, the Lord Lady, Sasha, is there with her library and then not go away with some kind of magic book. So it just seems like it would be wrong, like almost an insult to my time here.
Fair enough. Well, we carry enduring spell books for the wizarding kind. They're far more durable, less likely to be burned or broken.
That'd be
Let's see.
like that sort of thing. I hope she's well. No, but I'll tell her if I see her. But anyway, no, please go on.
Let's see, I'm checking through all the different magical words for book, codex, tome, etc. Let's see. Not have that. Where is that? I don't know if that is.
I mean, if you wanted to just, instead of like wasting all that time, if you wanted, you could just like roll a percentile chance and then be like, if it's like a really good percentile in your mind, like it's an awesome magic book. If it's a really bad percentile in your mind, maybe they don't have one, or maybe it's cursed, or maybe it's like +1 to a skill, or whatever makes you happy. But I mean, you don't have to go through all of it. Like at this point,
check now. All right. With that roll,
Someone left their textbook.
you know what? It's fine. It could be a mathematics accounting book, and somehow I now know how to do accounting.
There's plenty of those types of books. If you're talking specifically magical books,
I'm magical. I'm making a joke because you're going to be an accountant.
Yes, I am. I've already had so many different things. I'm doing my best not to add any accounting into my D&D game for y'all. So
when I was on the team in middle school and high school, it was called Math Counts. like that's pretty obvious. That's like a low hanging fruit. Anyway, keep going.
Are you of the wizarding kind?
Not typically, but I have felt a little bit more creatively inspired lately. So maybe
Is it in the vicinity enough to hear this going on?
Yes.
Yeah, you can be.
Thicket will chime in. I like magic. And he holds up Liang's spellbook.
Oh.
That he frequently just looks through because he likes looking at the spells.
Well, we do have spell books for sale. Ones that were abandoned by students, copies made, additional things like that. If you'd like to purchase any of those. But the large majority of our magical books are most useful to wizards.
Oh, that's fine. I figured. You never know, though. You know, you might come across like, oh, look, here's a great book of poems, and then all of a sudden, a bard like myself, or maybe even John might really enjoy such a thing. So that's all. You don't know if you don't ask. So
let's see. Alchemical compendium, no. Arcane grimoire, no.
Do.
Huh?
Did Sasha just do?
Yes, I definitely just said that 100%.
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. I think we might have a set of protective verses, but that's also wizard. I don't use that kind of item in my games, so we're not going to do that.
What game do you play, Sasha?
Oh, just something me and my friends play sometimes. It's nothing to worry about.
Oh, lovely. I'd love to hear all about it sometime.
Let's see. No, I don't have anything on hand. I'm sorry. I can look into potentially making one or finding some more information on one for when you ever next return.
All right. Well, anything at all. I think this might be my most favorite town that I've been to. So
very nice to hear. We're happy to have you. And the town is rather taken with your music. So we'd be happy to have you again, I'm sure. From what I understand, I should let you play in the park next time for everyone to hear.
That sounds like a brilliant idea. I love that. Honestly, I think it's partially due to John. I've only gotten better since he's been with us. So
often having someone to bounce off of be quite helpful.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully we can work out the other arrangement. Oh, and by the way, here are the items as stated previously. I realized that I did not actually take them off my sheet. So do you want to go ahead and take them off, or do you want me to delete them, or what do you want to do?
You can delete them.
All right.
I have a list down somewhere. Don't worry.
Okay. don't know how to delete this. I am realizing.
It's technically a moon touch sword, but I'm still going to call it a moonlight short sword.
Can't fight the moonlight.
Darkness, unsheathed blade of this magical sword sheds moonlight, creating bright light, a 15-foot radius, dim light for an additional 15 feet. I'm going to throw this onto your sheet, John. Have you gone ahead and removed the 100 gold pieces?
Yes, I already have.
Wonderful. Bonk, there you go. I will set it to be equipped. Make sure it properly shows up. Short sword, it should. Would you prefer to primarily deal at piercing or slashing, as it does have the variable feature it can deal either?
Probably prefer slashing, given my rapier does piercing.
Slashing. Magic damage. Stat based off of dex. Has the light parry and variable features. Whenever it does have variable skewering and variable slicing, so in this case with slicing you do gain the additional effect of if you go over the target's AC by 5 or more or land a critical hit, they take additional necrotic damage equal to your proficiency bonus. We'll add that to your... I don't know if you have weapon effects yet. I don't think you do. I'll add a new category to your sheet in a minute that's weapon effects. It's going to have the skewering and slicing abilities. You also have parry, which you can use as a reaction to add half of your proficiency bonus to your armor class against one attack.
Parry the platypus.
Parry the Oops. Okie doke, that's those two things. Is anyone else going to do anything at the library?
At the library.
Oh, Garand, if you do have an interest in wands, we do have a wand of the War Mage that's floating around. It helps increase the quality of your magical attacks.
You know what? I was not planning on spending any more money. Money seems to be very hard to come by in this world. Much more so than I would have thought when I was a youth.
I can hold on to it if you'd like.
But
What does it do?
Wand of the War Mage. The Wand of the War Mage gives you a +1 to attack roll, to spell attack rolls. Words. It also lets you ignore half and 3/4 cover for your spell attacks.
Yeah, it's not the one that increases my save DC, so it's not like there's different things that are out there that do different stuff. It's the fact that I can ignore some cover and some stuff. So,
half cover. You don't ignore 3/4 cover, apparently. Just gives you a bonus to your attack rolls with spells. You may not want to. It's an investment for sure. And there may be other items later.
yeah.
She did give you a... I believe gave... No, you had it from... No, never mind. She didn't give you that any of that information about Vacuo.
Probably not.
They didn't ask. You ended up asking Fabian about where you could repair a magical weapon. Not her.
Yeah. But I thought we had discussed that Doug would have asked. Did that not happen? Am I tripping? Was I thinking something else?
Doug asked Fabian, I believe is what happened, where he could repair a magical weapon, which is you received the information that there is a Blank of Avalon shop, but he couldn't remember the first half of the name.
Okay. Would she have told us after doing the whole thing that where we went into it or whatever and did that stuff?
I was going to have it mentioned, but then you went to Fabian, so I didn't bother sending it along. But if you'd like to ask her, she would recommend the Magic Shop and Smith Pieces of Avalon, run by a woman named Astoria.
All right.
And I know sometimes people can get rather, though I don't think any of you would, adventurers can sometimes get aggressive with shopkeepers. Don't with her. I'm not totally certain you'd make it out alive.
Oh, that sounds like a fun challenge, but not one I really want to risk right now.
I wouldn't recommend it. She's also rather short with threats.
Now, I really don't think that's in our
Best interest? I agree.
well, not just that, but no, the
I'm
the
short
message-
too.
yeah, you're very short. It's lovely. No, the messengers, that's just not our sort of thing.
Yes, that's why I doubt you would do such a thing. But, just in case you got any ideas. It's definitely the wrong person to test such an idea on.
Warnings are, are good, so thank you. When everyone's ready, I'd like to meet back at the end and discuss our final plans to make sure that we're all in agreement about what we wish to do next, because we have a few things before us, and I don't want anyone feeling unheard or, whatever. And I will nod and thank her and begin to head out.
Okey-doke. Also, for my own sake, Saturday, the 27th of May, year 417, 11 a.m.
Technically, this was supposed to be the afternoon because of what you required of me with
5 p.m.
But
Is there anything people would like to do across the day? I feel like it was going to talk to her, but I don't remember what about, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It's fine. You'll remember when we're in Vacuo. It'll
Yeah,
be
you
great.
remember when when you're not there anymore. Because we kind of implied that conversation happened last time when Garan was talking to her, but now I can't remember what it was. Was it? I don't think it was about Tria.
I think it was asking if she was the one who sent the rose.
Oh, yeah. Good job. So you remembered?
Thicket does not want to ask though.
Then that's up to you.
But it was something part of like the conversation that she had with Garan where she you had said that
I explicitly said that
Thicket
asked.
But
also
still it was implied that Garan brought it up.
Yeah, I also
first,
specifically
she
mentioned
answered
that conversation could be retconned because it was a skipping time thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't ask about it, poof.
Yeah,
that
no,
conversation, that retcon.
Yeah, no, definitely retcon. We had so many hours that we were there trying to find the magic book and everything else. So
I had forgotten about it.
Was this
retcon it? We want to know.
Jack?
is this all happening while Doug was away, or did Doug go with everybody?
Part of it would have happened while you're away, probably, but you also could be there for this conversation if you'd like.
I mean, Doug was just going to ask Sasha about the name that she shouted out, or I guess said after the fight. If Doug is there. If Doug is not there, then never mind.
What name are you referring to?
So after the fight, you said, "Well done." But
Dancer. That was it.
What'd you say?
When she called Grace Dancer?
Yes. However, the name that you said was not anyone that was around, so just kind of confused as to why you just shouted out a random name.
Oh, you mean the name I spoke to the woman in black?
Yes. I mean, I guess.
I'm
You
not...
said a name.
I've never directly learned their real name, but I tend to refer to them the same as the rest of the town does whenever their antics show up. Midnight Dancer, the people like to call her.
Okay, well, that's not the name that I know her by, but if that's what you know her by, then sure.
I feel she would prefer that I didn't know her real name. So don't tell me.
Well, it's not Dancer. I'll give you that.
Good to know. I'd assumed as much. I wouldn't think her first name was Midnight either. But you never know these days.
Yeah, it's actually Tiny Dancer.
Tiny Dancer? Well, she is rather short. Then again, so am I. I believe she's actually...
I don't guess this conversation is happening around
Gambit would be in the area if he
when
wanted
we're
to
all
be.
together.
Gambit
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
there if he
Okay,
wanted
can
to be.
I
How-
insight that?
Which part of it?
There's no way.
How
The
do
part
you
is
not
that if
know
she
her
actually
name?
knows. Yeah. She seems to be like an important. They're both important women in this town. How do they not know each other's names? Insight check.
It's thinly veiled, but she specifically said, "I have never." I think I
not the-
said that I have not been introduced to her by her name, or I have been. I think she said I have not been told of her real name. Which, take that as you will, especially with the insight check you just rolled.
Yeah.
But that is what she said.
Gabe is like, huh.
If Thicket wants to insight as well, insight into the tower.
In the tower.
Big town, I guess.
I mean, clearly it means that that she's good at what she does. Like that should probably give her some like maybe make it a little bit better that she knows about you. If she's able to keep the secret so well from the Lord Lady Librarian.
I think there was a fairly sly grin on her face when she said this, seemingly to imply that she knows, but as far as she says, she doesn't know. Very much I'm not supposed to know what her name is. And then stops the sentence there type of thing. Implying that she does know the name, but she refers to her by the name that Grace prefers. At least when she's dressed up that way.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the only conversation that I wanted to ask about.
Fair enough. Okie doke. Is there anything you wanted to do over the day, Gambit?
Nope. I don't think so. Just
Okey-doke.
get ready for the journey ahead.
As the party presumably congregates, it seems y'all been congregating in Gambit's room, so maybe you'd return there. As Garand brings you all in to have conversations about the future. Getting toward dinner time.
So, firstly, thank you. I do, I value all of your opinions, and I want us all to share in this. I don't want anyone, feeling, ignored or anything. So, I think it's good to try to keep our arrangement and just head to Vacuo. But there's also the fact that there's clearly something going on with the witches in the north. My best guess is probably hags. And those creatures are horrible, despicable things. So
Wait, what's going on with hags?
it's my guess. I could be wrong. It could be something else. But the description, the way in which things went on and so forth. Effectively, though, it is the area. Excuse me, near Calcite. I believe it was to the north of Calcite.
Specifically, is referring to the book that y'all found that refers to the hero of Calcite who went and bartered away his gemstone sword to witches of the north in return for retrieving the princess that he was seeking.
Right, and that's the whole bargain thing. That's absolutely how hags like to do business. So, again, like I said, everything kind of fits towards that. Now, it could be something else. Could be a devil. Like, they also like bargains. But I think that we need to handle that. Whether we handle that first or not, I don't know. we could get to Vacuo, and we could look into possible hiring of, someone that might be able to teleport us, and then that person we just, pay to wait in Calcite. Right, so we go to Vacuo, we hire a person that can teleport us to Calcite, and then we investigate from Calcite. Let them rest there. We pay their bill, sort of thing, and that kind of makes it all up and up sort of thing. And then we take out that hag or hag coven. Probably, it sounds like it was plural witches, which would be a coven, which would be a terrific fight, if I'm being honest. But then we would be one step closer, and then we could just return to Calcite and all teleport back to Vacuo, and then we would have time for the a ceremony, so to speak. The don't let me misquote what it was. It was the the Hain Institute, and the effectively like a bowl. So
Hain Institute Solstice Celebration.
that's the one. Thank you, Heavenly Voice.
Held on the 21st Wednesday of June.
Wait, is this like a howler? Is this like a howler from Harry Potter?
I don't know what the slightest thing you're talking about is. Pretend I'm not here.
Alright, goodbye, Voice. Thank you.
Goodbye.
So yeah, my vote is that we go to Vacuo, we see if we can, acquire the services of a teleportation caster, get ourselves to Calcite, do some research, find out where the witches of the north might be, and then pay them a slight visit. Now, if I'm wrong, then we can work out something else. Maybe they're good guys and they just wanted to protect the sword, and so instead we do them a favor. Maybe we've got to go rid the forest of a green dragon or something. I don't know. But regardless, that is my vote. So I would love to hear what you all have to say, but I think that keeping our word and heading with the merchants in the morning is the best idea.
How sure are we that the hags thing is not the plot of a storybook?
I don't know. I suppose it could be.
This whole time, every time I've heard about it, I thought we were talking about a story. I didn't realize it was real.
Oh, no. As far as I understand it, this is real about the gem sword, so it'd be weird to find only one legend of the gem sword as a fairy tale or fictional account.
Legends are often rooted in truth.
Again, excellent point. Thank you, Heavenly Voice.
Yeah, sorry, I've been working on my voices.
Did
you know they have bread just on the counter
dragon
downstairs?
I love it. Fairy dragon. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
That's the best. There you go. That's how you can give us a little help here and there.
Yeah.
That's. Doug, Gambit, John, do you have anything to say?
I will do whatever the rest of the party does. I don't think I have quite the status here to voice an opinion.
If you're willing, I'd still like to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I'm okay heading to Vacuo and sticking with these merchants. I mean, what are they promising us anything other than a faster way to travel? To get them safely to Vacuo?
It was pretty much that. It was a transport agreement that they would take care of y'all, or like they would give you the ride, and y'all would protect the caravan.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd say if we promise that, they're expecting it, so let's stick to it.
Gambit?
Yeah, I think we've got a good plan.
So to make sure I understand the party's current plan, y'all are planning to go down all the way to Vacuo proper. And then is the plan to stay there until the solstice celebration and then go to Calcite? Or is the plan to try and find a magical transportation to teleport you to Calcite, do some research, and then use Thicket's scroll of of transport via plants to go back to Vacuo?
The second one is my preference and what I'm trying to encourage the others, but I still,
So it would end up. So you're effectively relying on being able to find someone who can teleport you, doing so, and then spending the scroll to get back.
Yep.
Okie doke, just making sure clear on
we
it.
could get back, or we could just, I mean, it's however it works. I guess that would make more sense is just for a teleport versus him waiting and then we teleport all together again. I guess it makes more sense for Thicket to use that scroll. That's probably better.
Well, I mean, it depends on if you have someone in Calcite who can teleport you back.
Well, yeah, but Thicket would probably be able to use that scroll by then. So
Thicket can use the scroll now. He has to make a check, but he can use the scroll.
Oh, okay.
He could use the scroll. He wouldn't have to wait on it necessarily for levels or anything. It would just be a thing he can attempt to do.
Then so just one teleport out would be fine. Heck, we might not even need to go back to Calcite. Even we could just go teleport from their lair.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey there.
Wait, I don't know why when I unmute it just says nope. But anyway, so is the map currently pulled up?
I did share it, and I can share it again.
Because I'm logging on now.
Once you get on, I will share it up to you.
So it's currently what day? You said the...
It is
Saturday.
the 27th of May. It is a Saturday. The next morning y'all would be leaving, and it takes approximately... Oh, what's that? 16 divided by 5, so... That's not right. 60 divided by 5 is 12, so 12 days to get there.
Mm-hmm.
On the path that they follow.
And that would give us how many days until the
That would be all there on the 8th, which is just under 2 weeks from the event. And then you'd have to secure teleportation to Calcite, do whatever research there, and then teleport back.
And so...
Even if, it's worth noting, if you did teleport to Calcite, you would not have... You would be very tight to try and go up and deal with the swamp witches, assuming that you can find them in the swamp before having to come back. So it would be a research and then come back and then have to go back to Calcite to deal with whatever's there.
All right. Well, if it looks like it's going to be difficult, then we can make alternate plans at that time. But again, if we find someone like the first day that we're there, or maybe on the way, someone's like overhearing us talk about it, and they're like, "Oh, I know a guy that might be able to do that," and then we get them like first day. There's a lot of possible stipulations to all that. So, worst case scenario, we could just like go check out Tough, or go check out Basalt or Moraine or something. Just be like, let's go on a little vacay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I mean, I'm up for any. I was just clarifying some things. But yeah, it's still updating whatever Fantasy Grounds has to update.
You can also spend downtime in places if you want to make items, work on items, sell things, buy things, etc.
Did we solve the John not having a magical weapon?
He has purchased a Moonlight short sword.
Because what we could do is we still have some powder if we want to do similarly what we did with the bow and just stay here for an extra few days.
Yeah, but then we'd leave the merchants behind.
Or the merchants would leave us behind.
That's what I meant.
Okay, so the merchants are leaving
They're
Sunday?
Yeah.
Never mind. But yeah, I'm good with that plan.
Any objections?
Nope.
Right. The party prepares to leave the next morning.
I have a question before we leave the city. Did we ever ask Sasha Hellion what she thinks in regards to like where we might be able to find the other swords?
She specifically gave. She did. Y'all asked pretty early on. She gave you information again about. She mentioned Sheer, but y'all had already gotten that one. She mentioned the Lord of Nace has a sword of similar look to the one that y'all have, but his is blue, a very light blue. And then the previous Lord of Dyke had one that was red.
And then we know about the other one that you didn't mention.
The one that she did not know about, y'all have seemingly gotten some information about from a legend about a hero of Calcite.
Can you say that again? I'm gonna write it down. What she...
Okey-doke. She said that the Dreaming Lord of Nace, Sanada Tatsui, which is in the session highlights, there is a tab that there is a pinned one that has all the current names of lords that you'll know of. Sanada Tatsui of Nace has the Aquamarine sword, and then Lord Golden, the previous Lord of Dyke, the current Lord is Lord Goldenfang, but the previous Lord of Dyke had the, what is it? What was the red one? What was the gemstone for it? Gemstone for the red one is Vanadinite. And I was wrong, it is not Aquamarine that Sanada Tatsui has, it is Angelite. Which leads you to believe that the Serpentine gemstone sword is the one connected to Calcite. You currently have the Chrysolite Scorching Solarium. Okie doke.
Is there 4 total, correct?
There are 4
Okay.
total.
The Lord of Dyke has the Vanadinite? Or did have?
The previous Lord of Dyke
Yeah.
had the Vanadinite.
And then the other one was the Angelite.
The Angelite was held by the Lord of Nace, Sanada Tatsui.
And then Sasha did not have any knowledge about the rose.
She wasn't asked.
No, I said we retconned it. I said we had plenty of time. We could have retconned it.
I mean, that depends on Thicket. Is Thicket going to ask? Or
No,
someone
even
else?
if Garon would.
No, the
Garon's
thing
gonna
is,
ask on
Garon
Thicket's behalf.
already asked, and she was the one who brought up that Thicket already talked to her.
Right.
So,
that's what you-
assuming Garon
So Garon-
asks in this
We can assume
retcon
Garon
question,
still asked, but Thicket
Right.
never did.
I did
Right.
not leave you any sort of rose. No.
Is there any reason to think that someone would? Hold on. Can I just take a moment and identify it real quick, and I just go ahead and.
You're going to
Okay.
identify the rose. That's good because y'all didn't get it last time.
Pretty sure I can handle one level one
Thicket
spell.
hands over his book.
With the rose that you've begun to press into it. It is. Where are you? Is it? I put this in the thing. Is it in your?
It could be in
I
Thicket's.
don't think it was ever actually written down.
Did I ever put it in your? I
In
may not have put it in
inventory.
your sheet. I may not have put it in your sheet. Let me grab it.
It was all word of mouth.
Okay, the rose, which I'm going to throw into your sheet now, under the title "Beautiful Rose." There we go. Now it's in your sheet. Identifying it, this beautiful rose is called a Rose of Retention. It's a wondrous item of very rare quality. Of rare quality. As an action, you can use this magical rose to cast the Revivify spell with a +5 to the Resurrection check. The rose then wilts and is expended. Alternatively, this rose can be used as the material components for the Raise Dead spell.
Oh.
Wow.
Thicket, put that away. Not you can't press it. We don't want to ruin it. It's a magic item we were given. I'm not sure who, and I guess it wasn't the lady or the other lady.
Are we with the lady right now?
You are with
I'm-
Sasha at the moment, presumably.
Yeah.
I don't know if the others would be there if Garand is asking when the others are around.
No, that's fine.
Pressing this in the book ruin it?
I don't know.
Let's not risk it. Can you just put it away in the hole?
Well, I don't want it to get all jumbled up with other stuff.
Do you want to wear it like on your clothes, like a lapel, or in your hat or something?
We can stick it in my hat.
All right, let's stick it in your hat then.
And call it Macar Rosie.
Very nice.
And you mentioned a lady and another lady?
Yeah, you're one lady, and then there was another lady that we thought might have been responsible, but she also did not take responsibility. So
Sure, you'll find whoever it was. Assuming they want to be found. If they're good at hiding, people are quite good at hiding.
I don't know. It was waiting in the room. I thought it was for Thicket because Thicket loves getting flowers. Then we checked to make sure it wasn't like a gift for Gambit, and it wasn't that, and it wasn't from you. So I don't know. I guess it could have been those ladies that came and listened to the performance. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that teleported John and I to help out in the fight.
Oh. Someone teleported you?
I'm assuming so. I mean, we just appeared and time was all, wibbly wobbly.
Timey-wimey.
Sorry, you said
Exactly.
someone had the ability to teleport you through time.
Apparently.
What did these women
'Cause
look like? Tell me
I'll
about
describe them again. There's the tree lady, who apparently is named Tria.
You wouldn't know that yet, because she's the one who tells you.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
It's Lord Lanairu Elrin. I've met Lanairu. She's very powerful. I don't know if she'd be able to move you through time. On mentioning the other one. Interesting. Don't think I've ever had the pleasure of meeting her. If I'm right about who that is, you've probably met Tria. Which I'm genuinely surprised she took an interest in you.
I'll try not to be offended.
It's no count against you. In fact, it's more of a count in your favor that she did. She's, from what I've heard, she is quite particular about who she visits in the mortal realm.
Well, that sounds promising. That's fun.
Yes, she's,
Who is Tria?
from what I've heard, she's one of the 10.
The 10 what?
Oh, I guess it hasn't come up. And you're welcome to make religion checks if you'd like, for anyone who has proficiency in religion, because if you don't have proficiency, you may not have heard, or you may not know about this.
Well, funny thing about that.
Can I try anyway, even though my modifier is 0?
You would not know.
Bards be weird.
Bars be weird sometimes. Any others can't. Does anyone have proficiency in religion?
I have proficiency.
Nope.
I have half proficiency.
John can roll with half proficiency into the tower.
Oh, into
Well.
the tower. I will roll into the tower.
John, you recall the 10. It's a religious thing. It's supposedly they are 10 creatures, not necessarily angels, but 10 creatures that were chosen by Aether and Erebus to serve as representatives across the world. 10 creatures of varying types, of varying creatures. Supposedly one of them is even a devil. To essentially perform their will and be their eyes and ears across the universe, in addition to their own abilities, to be representatives. They follow the celestial counting of 10. Unus, Due, Tria, Quator, Quinque, Sex, Septem, Octo, Novum, and Decim. Which John would be able to repeat to y'all if he'd like, or she can talk about it.
John will expound.
Well, I want to get a book on these people before we leave.
Sure.
Think it's gonna be putting like this whole library into the hole. Like the portable hole is just gonna be a carrying library.
Portable hole, not
that-
portable library.
Hey, an empty portable hole is a wasted portable hole.
Yes.
You would be able to find. She would be able to direct you to a book on the 10, which I can get you more details later on.
Cool.
I feel like it would be hilarious to have like a portable hole that just doesn't close all the way just right, and when you set it down, it's got like a lump in it because it's so full.
That'd be funny. Yeah, but the 10 are also the remaining ones that supposedly have been allowed to stay, and when the gods have made it more difficult to travel between the planes, the 10 are perfectly allowed to. Supposedly, one of the only dragons, if there are any left in the world, is one of the 10.
Well, I wouldn't want to destroy any of those then, I don't think. I think that sounds like some sort
You
of like...
probably have a hard time doing so. From what I understand, they are on the level of angels.
Sounds like a friend I want to have.
You would be better off knowing one, especially if Priya can transport you through time and space.
I mean, that's my only conclusion. I heard the explosion, and then there's no way that there was 30 minutes of destruction that happened. Even 20 minutes. Let's say it was best case scenario. They clearly had really just arrived.
And like prevented a paradox by us like not being able to interact with our past selves, like with the end disappearing.
If I were to guess...
That's true, that's a good point.
Anyone who has proficiency in Arcana can make an Arcana check.
I have an out of character question.
Yeah.
Doesn't one of us have a sword of Decim or something?
The Feather of
yeah.
Decim.
I do have
Feather of Decim.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you have to understand though, it hasn't really registered to Garand yet. So
I was
until
like, I'm surprised Garand hasn't made any comments yet.
I was gonna ask if Garand even knows the dude's name or not.
No, it's again, you have to understand Garand is high intelligence, low wisdom. So like unless like my goal was originally to kind of make him a little bit like Sean Spencer from Psych, where he basically just like has this hyper ability to like pick out stuff, like basically like super investigatory, right? And it's even why it's one of the things that I chose to get expertise in, as I really wanted to try to like build on that. It hasn't really worked out, which is fine, but the low wisdom, it's like he misses a lot. So
you start to wonder what kind of creature Tria was, given that she mentioned that they're typically not angels and come in a variety of forms. The 10.
I am very much curious about what kind of creature Tria was.
Which Thicket, assuming you're able to get the book relatively quickly, as she would be able to send someone to grab a book about the 10 for you. If you flip to the chapter on Tria, you would see in the first part that it is largely believed and assumed that Tria is an archfey.
The heck is an archfey?
Ooh.
oh, that's awesome. That's like Titania and Oberon are like the archest of Fae, but there are other archfey who are up there as well.
Basically, they are the most powerful people in the Feywild.
Oh.
Bordering on demigods.
Interesting.
Which, Garand, as you're thinking about this, with her being a Fae, the Feywild is a place that's kind of disconnected time-wise. Maybe
Yeah,
you were
that's-
Oh
teleported
no.
to the Feywild temporarily.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's right. That's fantastic, in fact. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Oh, that's delightful. Yeah, so Duran's gonna kind of explain the probability of what really happened there. Yeah,
Essentially, the theory that because she's an archfey, she just teleported the entire building into the Feywild for 30 minutes, teleported you two back 30 minutes, and the building back at the end of that time.
Yeah.
Which means she also has control over the time side of the Feywild, which is abnormal. It is known to function on a different time, effectively a design or method of passing of time than the material plane is.
I think as soon as he's done thinking about how cool that is, he's going to suddenly say, "Wait, I'm sorry, Lord Lady Sasha, did you say Decim?"
Yes, the 10th.
That's delightful. This right here, and he just pulls out the little feather and then turns it into the trident. It says, "This is apparently known as a feather of Decim."
Does they get flipped to chapter 10?
Yes.
Cool. You would see a rather, a very well done drawing. Let me see if I have.
No, we have canon pictures now instead of the drawing.
Actually, I'm just going to describe it to you because I don't even have. Apparently, I don't have it prepped in the thing. You would find a drawing of an enormous bird. And in the first page, talking about what kind of creature it's believed that he is, it is believed that Decim is a storm phoenix, one of the primary elementals of the 10. As she looks to you, it is, from what you've told me, quite possible that your patron is one of the 10. The 10th, actually.
That's so fantastic. That makes me feel even so much more appreciation for him. Yeah, he says that I've got to fight something on his behalf. I don't know what that means. Do you have any idea what that would be?
No, but if he's telling you to, I imagine it's a rather important fight.
Right, I'm trying to figure out the best way to learn everything that I can to do that well. In fact, I've been even trying to learn from Doug to teach me some of these things, so...
From what I witnessed the other night, though I think its cloud got in the way for some of the fight that I could see, he seems to be quite good.
No, he's fantastic. He's incredibly capable. And who knows, maybe it's a good portent that I took no wounds whatsoever in this last fight. That's fantastic. That's never happened to us. I've always been wounded.
Some are easier to knock down than others, certainly. Seems your Doug is on the opposite end. Quite... the word. Defensive, perhaps? But yes, of the 10, you're welcome to continue reading the book, and I have copies of it, so if you'd like to take it with you, I think that'd be alright.
Bickett very much so wants to take the book with him.
Garan will cast light on it. Look, now I've got a magic book from here. Hooray!
That is technically the case for, what is it, an hour?
Yeah.
Brings a whole new meaning to reading light.
Also, my light, when I cast it, it looks like a glowing, stormy blue.
Slightly, kind of fading through to the different colors, almost.
Yeah.
Like a wave.
Yep.
You don't. Assuming you'll finish your conversations with her, unless there are other questions you'd like to ask.
How likely are these 10 to be hostile to us?
It's hard to tell. They typically serve the will of the twins. So, assuming you're
Do
Going to cause the twins an issue.
I have a
Be fine.
question?
They tend to like... They try not to interfere. They're not supposed to interfere directly. But sometimes they will decide they like people. It's interesting that you said it seemed like... Based on the connection of Laineru and Tria, it is my guess that Tria brought Laineru to listen to your concert.
Oh,
Which means she must have thought you were good enough to bring the Lord of Songs as a special guest.
that's so sweet. Oh,
Flattering,
How well
actually.
did you play?
well, I mean,
Should have been there.
it's the best I've ever played. But I honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, just like between friends. I really think I should have earned a lot more money than I did. I mean, just being honest about it. It's like, here's this big party, here's this great bard, and he just absolutely destroys everything that you've ever thought that you've heard from a bard before. And I don't know. It was a little underwhelming. I'm not going to lie. But now knowing that there's a flower and that I made a friend that I was not expecting, and I was able to help my other friends in a fight, I'm feeling a lot better overall. So, but it was certainly the best performance I've ever done.
Hopefully I'll be able to catch the next one. Unfortunately, my time doesn't allow me to travel back that far.
No worries. I will look forward to returning and performing in the courtyard. That all might partake. And I will specifically take any tips then and donate to any sort of charitable action that you have going on in your town. I don't know if maybe you go out and feed or clothe anyone or anything, or maybe you welcome immigrants or something, but...
Whoa.
We try to care for our own.
Yeah, I would just... All the tips on that case would just go right back to that, so... hopefully I will do as well or better.
I have a question.
Yes, Thicket?
This book has pictures of all of the 10, right?
It has drawings, approximations.
Okay. Do any of them look similar to the face that Thicket saw in his vision?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Carry on.
Quickly paging through them, while I don't have a full list for you of what all of them they are, none of them are Grim.
Cool.
That's a good relief.
Just figured I'd check while we have Sasha Hellion here.
Yep,
If the
fair
answer
enough.
was yes, I would
Ask questions.
have more questions.
But nope. You don't. Well, I have some...
Do any of the 10 have like natural enemies?
Probably. Micah hasn't written the other 8 very clearly yet, so...
Or
Take a
like
look through the book.
rivals?
I don't know. It's not my main area of expertise. I've read the book.
It's okay. In the part about Dexum, does it say anything about she has a... Or they have a feminine form enemy?
Good thinking, Gambit.
Like an antithesis?
Arch nemesis.
What if they have like grim?
Mhm.
What if there's like grim versions of the 10, like the Grim 10?
Ooh.
That would
That
be
would
crazy.
be... That sounds really cool, but that'd also be like really scary.
Yeah.
Right. Also, and think about it. If Thicket's unable to recognize, right, then maybe there's a grim version of all this. I don't know. That's interesting. Sorry, just spitballing.
Maybe there's a grim version of all of us.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Maybe we're all Grim.
I don't think that's the case, considering the main thing about Grim is that they have no soul, and
Oh,
I, for one, have a soul.
How do you know you have a soul?
Well, I've died, and my soul was pulled back, which by necessity means that I had a soul that left my body and then returned. That's a confirmation, but from my understanding, all living creatures besides Grim have some sort of soul, even animals, though it's
I don't
less
think
complex.
dying works like that.
It usually doesn't. But when you have a powerful cleric in your party, it can be reversed.
Ah.
Hopefully you'll never have to experience it. But from what I understand, that rose could help you if that happens. Well, I have some things to look to for the evening. I have some projects to grade, inspections to be made. I wish you all the best of luck on your travels. And you said you're going to Vacuo?
Yes, ma'am.
How long will you be there?
We plan to attend the solstice celebration.
Ah. Well, if you're still there by the Saturday after, the 24th, that's the Summer Lords meeting. So, I should be there then. I can keep an eye out for it if you'd like.
That could be fun.
Should be all the lords in town during that weekend. Even the ones that don't have access to teleportation. The school and mages nearby help out. Gather everyone for the week. Or for the weekend, rather.
Oh, including my uncle.
Yes, he will likely be in town. I'd be very surprised if he isn't. It's rather... The Queen very much prefers everyone to meet quarterly. So it's entirely possible.
Will the
he'll
queen be there?
Yes. Typically we have a few conversations, any announcements, some time to talk diplomacy. But, then we all return home. I'll be teleporting myself there. I wouldn't be surprised if she sends me a message asking me to pick up the Lord of Blue Waters or something before I go.
You take her back there.
But good luck, and I'll hopefully see you in a month. If it's done by then, I'll bring that thing you've asked for, Garant.
Fantastic, thank you. Hopefully it'll be done sooner.
Hopefully, and I'll send it with someone.
It is much appreciated. Thank you.
She returns to her things. We all taking the rest of that evening and the next morning as it's getting close to 7 a.m. The night goes by simply and easy. And a long rest in case anyone still has hit dice they need to get or anything. We'll see if it works. Long. Go. Long rest. The next morning, as you all gather your things, as the merchants who had done their various tradings, moved around, come by, and as they gather their things, and the 3 carts show up to pick you all up, and as you pack your things, Grace is waiting by the door as you leave. Gives a curtsy to you all. It was a pleasure having you, Garand. And hopefully you'll perform here next time, if you come back.
Yes, I believe it was suggested that perhaps I perform in the courtyard. And I think that would be a wonderful afternoon concert. And, maybe return to my evening performances here.
Like a lovely set.
I look forward to that opportunity. Good day, ma'am. And he's going to walk along and he's going to try to grab Doug and John. I can't think of a reason why he would be able to grab Thicket on this, but he's going to say, gentlemen, could you please continue to work with me on my combat forms and so forth?
Doug is going to say, yeah, 1 second. And then goes over to Lady and says, why dancer?
Oh, you've heard that name. Well, it was... There were a few times when well, let's put it a different way. Dancing was one of the things I was far better at when I was younger, and so it kind of bled into my fighting form whenever I've dealt with issues on the streets, bandits, any rough housing while the Lady at Night is dressed in such a way. That seems to be the name they chose to give her, as she moved like a dancer while fighting.
Mm.
It wasn't really my choice.
Does Sasha have a name?
What do you mean? He's the Lord Librarian.
Oh, I just didn't know if. I guess she also had a name of sorts.
No, I don't think she has an alter ego like I do.
What do you mean alter ego?
A different name, a different persona. An alter ego is when someone acts different or calls themselves something else when around some people or when doing certain things. Most people don't have them. It just kind of happened for me.
So, are you saying that around Gambit you have some sort of alternate ego?
Oh, no, that's not quite what I mean. I mean whenever I cause a ruckus at night. Whenever I'm in the costume you saw me in the other day.
Man, Doug asking the deep questions.
I gotcha. I think.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. You've got some great friends to help you with any confusion.
So, if Gambit had to have a name based off of what you saw, what would you call him? Because I don't think he dances.
The Raven.
Oh,
Or,
I like.
No,
Wrong animal.
not the Raven, because you don't have feathered wings. You have more the bug-like wings.
Gossamer.
Gossamer
Thank you.
wings. Maybe,
I was about to ask you for the word.
maybe
What
the
about
wasp?
Mothman?
The moth.
Man,
The Mothman? I feel like there's a joke I'm missing with that one.
There's
Oh.
some problems about him. You don't really want to.
Oh, is it? No, I guess I have seen. So it's not just your hair in the pictures? He looks to Gambit. I assumed
Huh?
in the drawings for
What are we talking about? I zoned out.
Oh, poor.
the in the wanted posters. Is that your hair or
The posters.
I don't know, maybe the wasp, the bat. Something flying for sure. That's what I'd give. It's the name I'd give Gambit.
I have the perfect idea. The Monarch.
The monarch. Sounds very regal. That could be very good.
Mm-hmm. Or you could be like super condescending and do Moth Boy.
Moth boy.
Is there any chance that you have a PhD? Perhaps you could be Dr. Girlfriend.
And she will lean over and just, if you allow her, she will gently grab your hat and just lift it up a little bit. And smile. And
no.
you will nod as she reaches up. You just hold the hat down.
Yeah.
I see. So it's not just the drawing, then. You actually have antennae.
Doug is just
what?
gonna look at
mean,
and be like, "Yeah, he's one of me."
Oh, a faunus. Oh, yes, I suppose that makes sense.
Was she able to just snatch the hat off his head?
No, he grabbed it before she did.
So then how does she know?
She seems to be referencing the wanted posters.
Powers of deduction.
Deduction and the wanted posters and the fact that y'all keep making moth references. I see.
Technically, that's induction, but anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Sure.
Alright, Garand.
As Garand pulls Doug and John away. Does Thicket follow after, or stay with Grace and Gambit?
Well, Thicket's not gonna let Gambit sit here by himself, so
Yeah.
he's gonna
Oh,
stick with
Are we
Gambit.
like not? Are we not like leaving?
Y'all
I
were
was
heading
trying-
to the carts.
I was trying to make a hint, so I don't know.
Okay.
If
And the merchants are kind of like waiting for you halfway impatiently. Well, it was nice to see you, and I hope that that you understand that I'm not a threat to you.
What?
Not you. You're gone.
That may be true,
Maybe next time we meet, it can be in
but
better
still not a
circumstances.
risk. Maybe so.
I understand the risks. If anyone comes looking for you, I'll point them the other way. Tell them you went to the forest to go to coral or calcite.
Well, we are gonna go to calcite, so
Coral, then.
sure.
Okay.
Hopefully, we won't make any detours then.
And she leans down to Thicket. It was very nice to meet you, Thicket.
Okay.
She nods and stands back up, and as you walk, as presumably as you two walk away, she leans over to Gambit. Goodbye, Moth Boy.
Oh boy,
You said it first.
that is supposed to be a joke.
As you
Oh well.
as you all join with the caravan and begin to make your way, that is where we will take a 10-minute break, and I believe Jocelyn has to step out for the travel section.
Uh-huh.
Wah.
You
Yep.
gotta get rest for
Don't
work.
kill us. Don't run into giant Grim.
Don't
No
worry.
giraffe?
No giraffe?
Don't take
There are no
unnecessary
Grim bigger than
risks.
Thicket.
To be fair, the giraffe is in the desert, so you're at least a good... Oh, what's it? 65 divided by 5, that's gonna be 7. 7 times 22 is... Calculator.
Far away.
Oh, yeah, no, just 150 miles away from you. Before you even touch the desert. And then it's somewhere in the desert.
I'm sure you have some sort of
You
like
never know.
a meadow titan or something.
Oh, there are definitely big Grim in the meadows, too, but... You know, you'll have to find them. Mega
That's
Grim
not.
are few
we
and
did.
far between.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for getting the ending where she says goodbye to the concerned Gambit. Don't worry,
Yep.
she eventually realized, like, yeah, no, too afraid to even consider.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the ending. Is this a choose your own adventure novel?
I mean, hey, if there's an achievement unlocked,
I mean, D&D is always a choose your own adventure novel, right?
that's true.
True.
Listen, I'm just saying, if that her and Gambit do end up together at some point, I'm pretty sure the fanfic would be categorized under slow burn.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Or enemies.
Maybe.
first.
Bye, Gambit.
Good
Both
night,
dreams.
Gambit. Good night,
All right.
Jocelyn.
Yeah,
Have a great day tomorrow. Bye.
Good evening.
I will. Thank you. Bye.
All right, you said break.
Yeah, break. I'm gonna set a timer.
All right,
Could it also be considered accidental enemies to lovers?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's accidental. It's definitely enemies to lovers, because she was half concerned she'd have to kill him the first time they interacted. It was on the potentials. 'Cause as far as she knew, it was just someone with a 5,000 gold bounty on his head. And you got some lore.
Lore's fun.
I was wondering when the 10 would be found out. Okay. Do. Yes, so deduction is by removal of information, induction is the culmination of clues. Thank you, Chris, rather. It's always nice when you have to look up how to count to 10 in Latin in the middle of a game. So I've decided that Celestial is Latin in my worlds.
Makes sense.
Let's see, the party will have... I believe it was... What did we say was it? Essentially... Gonna be 12 days. 2 locations. Which, fun fact, during the travel, it's gonna be on like day 4 of travel. That the election will take place back in Sheer. You'll have no way of knowing who wins. But the election will take place.
Whatever happened to Claude?
Claude is with Maverick.
Okay.
Hey, we have a way of knowing who wins if we stay for the Lord's meeting.
That's true. If you are in Vacuo for Lord's meeting, whoever the new Lord is going to be there.
What about the Lord of Vacuo?
There's no Lord of Vacuo. There are the Lords of Vacuo, but the city of Vacuo is ruled by the Queen herself. The Lord of Sheer, who the party before John arrived, the party unseated. They organized an election because they wanted the people to decide who the next Lord would be, rather than simply choosing someone. So they got them to set up an election and then left. So, election takes place on May 31st. And so by June 1st, there will be a new Lord of Sheer. For better or for worse.
Interesting.
Yeah, if it ever comes up, it's a. I feel like that's one of my favorite stories so far in the game. Is that because that was honestly, I would say that was probably like a 3 or even maybe a 4-part arc that caused all that to happen. And yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I did like the Sheer art.
Yeah, we almost caused an explosion and almost killed an innocent person.
Yep.
I don't think did the party take... I don't think y'all took the second barrel of gunpowder, did you?
We still have one in
Thicket
the...
has a barrel of gunpowder.
Yes, but you did not take the barrel of gunpowder that was in Clifton Crest's house.
I thought they did. No? Okay.
No.
According to the sheet, no, which is,
Okay.
maybe for the best that you don't have 2 barrels of gunpowder sitting in a portable hole.
Why not?
Just one day, Thicket looks down and there's smoke coming out of his pocket.
Sounds like the best improvised bomb.
The party was going to use it as a bomb. They were going to blow up parts of buildings to make a distraction.
No, not even just the gunpowder, but the gunpowder in a portable hole, because it just looks like a cloth
napkin. Because the portable hole is supposed to fold up into just being like a folded tablecloth, basically.
The best.
Thicket carries it around like a rucksack.
It is the best IED because you could put that anywhere, be totally unassuming.
I mean, yeah. Fair enough.
Not saying we should do that. I'm just saying that would be cool.
Just to throw some monkey wrenches into some stuff, I'm gonna put a link to a very fun thing that you can do in Baldur's Gate 3. That might be a reason that maybe we want to start collecting a bunch of random gunpowder barrels.
If you're talking about the one where it's just an entire room explodes, go for it.
I actually did one of these myself on a smaller fight, and I have to tell you, it was incredibly satisfying.
Oh, is it the one where you fill your inventory with barrels?
Well, because it's too heavy, what you actually have to do, and this is kind of nonsense, you actually have to put everything back at camp because camp has no limit. And so then you just slowly keep pulling everything from camp, and then you place it all, and then you go out of the way where you can be, and then you just ignite it one time, and then shabam!
And then...
The one that I did is probably the hardest fight, or one of the hardest fights in Chapter 1, and it was just so much fun.
I see that the person very smartly goes ahead and misty steps.
Yeah, yeah.
Lags the computer.
Pretty wild stuff. You know, it's weird. If you end up having us run into any kobolds along this journey, I can't imagine us doing anything other than trying to liberate them. At this point, I just... If that's what you roll, if you roll kobolds, oh, there's some kobolds in these hills. Well, clearly, we need to go set them free and help them to know that they can join the kobold re-education committee or whatever.
It's a very windy day, the first day.
Where clearly most kobolds are delusional.
You know the half of it.
Oh, I know there was a thing about purple. We
So you
never. We never finished that side quest, did we?
Y'all might have asked someone about it. You might have
Purple
actually
what?
ended up. You might have asked Maverick, but that's something if y'all remember.
So, like, I remember we went back at some point along the way, and we did ask, but I don't think we ever ventured any more into the Queen. Unless that was Lexophene, but I don't think it was.
I don't remember when y'all found out. It's something John would know.
What will I know?
About purple?
Depends on if the party's gonna bring it up, I guess.
What are we talking about right now?
Hey, I'm also lost.
You remember?
Side quests that we forgot about, or you guys forgot about?
So at
This is
beginning-
not helping. Purple and side quests are not descriptors.
yeah. So at
I
the
don't
very,
know anything about it. I just know what I've been told.
So yeah, at the very beginning with the Cobalt incident, apparently they were following orders from someone, and I guess Doug found out anyway. I guess I don't know if anyone else did, but anyway, they were following orders from this queen, and I don't know if her name was Purple, or if purple was a significant color in something, or if it was a reference. But basically, they were following orders, and purple was important.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with Doug getting information and then not knowing to talk to anybody about it or not doing it. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still confused on what knowledge I would have.
Yep.
But
Well, until the party can come up with a good reason to remind you of it, it's not something that would occur to you while you're out here in vain traveling.
But yeah, Doug is not going to revisit that unless it comes up.
Yeah, if Doug doesn't bring it up, then
Yeah,
no reason it would come to mind.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm pretty sure it's either going to completely be missed and we're just going to be sad about it someday.
Oh no, you'll get it. You're going to Vacuo, the place where it is most relevant. You will get there. But
Oh, okay.
Because like Doug doesn't have any reason as to why he would ask John. Because
yeah, that's why I would know. Got it.
As far as Doug knows, it's like a kobold thing of some orders. Actually, no, hold on. I think the kobold did mention what the order was called,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the order was called something purple or purple something. But it hasn't been mentioned or brought up since.
It has not been mentioned or brought up since, yeah.
So Doug would completely not think to ask John.
Well,
Speaking of coming up, it is
Doug has no reason to ask him regardless.
yeah. Okie doke. Is everyone back?
I think so.
Maury?
Meow.
There we go. So y'all get together and get on the road.
On the road again.
Let's see. I guess we will need. Let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 survival checks from thicket into the tower.
Hey, did you get my animal handling earlier, by the way,
I did
Michael?
not get your animal handling earlier. I also need, is anyone going to help thicket? In order to help thicket, you have to have proficiency in survival, though.
I think Doug has proficiency. Yep, he does.
Okay,
Yeah, I
is
have
Doug going to help?
Sure.
I only have half proficiency.
I can help to try to give a bonus. Mine is +2 because I have a bad wisdom.
But you have proficiency?
Yep, it's one of the things because basically like him figure out how to survive like from a storm and a shipwreck and
In
everything.
that case, first, Garon, make 4 survival checks to see if you can give thicket a bonus. No bonus initially. You will give thicket a 1d4 bonus on the first roll. Which thicket you get an extra 1, and you can roll a survival check with advantage for the first one, and then 3 more survival checks with advantage without the +1.
Say that again.
Roll 4 survival checks with advantage into the tower, please.
What about a D4? That
Don't worry about it. I'm
Okay.
just gonna add those on the side.
okay? So 4 survival checks with advantage in tower.
Into the tower. And then I need John to roll me a d20 4 times.
Micah, did I get any points for Jackie?
4 times and into the tower or not?
4 times, it does not need to be in the tower. And then the one for Jackie, yes, you get a point for Jackie.
Or separate? Well, I'll just.
Or separate. Or all at the same time. I can just see the numbers that were
Or you
rolled.
can just see the diagonal.
16, 13, 4, 17. Okie doke. Are y'all eating anything particular on this trip? Thicket, you have no problem guiding everyone properly for the first 4 days.
I mean, that's right. That was part of the thing, and they were like feeding us and giving us water and whatever junk.
Yeah, they can feed you, especially as you're going along the river. I was just wondering if anyone wants to eat. If you have any perishables that you would want to eat. 'Cause, let's see. The, you do have the dried smoked
Just say we-
displacer meat.
How long does that last?
I mean,
Let's
it's
find out how
dried.
long does dried meat last.
Like 6 months?
Okay, so according to the National Center for Home Food Preservation, it can be up to 2 months, so probably up to 6.
Also, each day, Doug is getting good berries from Thicket and just handing them out motherly, even if they need them or not.
Fair enough. Y'all are plenty taken care of.
Have we been using the displacer beast meat for Jackie?
No, she didn't like
Wasted on Jackie.
There. it. Scared her. Remember, I gave
her
it.
to teleport randomly.
Yeah,
Ah.
so I was hoping to turn her into a blink jackal. But if it scared her, then no.
She also ate it raw, is worth noting. It does seem to have less of an effect when it's dried, so you don't know. You'd have to feed it to her again. But she did not like the teleporting the first time for sure.
Okay, well, yeah, I think then Garon just wouldn't, because he wouldn't. If he knowingly has like a friend scared or something, he wouldn't knowingly put them into a terrible situation. So
Fair enough.
Like,
just in
so-
case it would teleport her again, you do not feed her it.
Yeah.
Okie doke. The second day is very high heat, but since you're an extra river, you'd easily be able to refill on the extra water. I need 4 more checks from Garon to see if you get any bonuses for Thicket, but let's be real. Thicket's bonuses are high. You didn't roll below a 22 for the ones you rolled in the tower.
yeah, but if we keep making Thicket mow betters.
You get a... No, I've gone ahead and add that. Thicket, 4 more survival checks. John, 4 more random d20 rolls. I'm gonna roll 4 more weather checks.
Out of curiosity, how many more animal handlings do I need to try?
At this point, 8, if you're doing it daily.
Yep.
Wait, how many am I rolling
4.
with advantage?
Yeah,
What am I rolling d20s for?
random encounters.
Oh.
So those, and then Garand.
That's a lot of dice.
It's so much.
Mm,
Sometimes it's just fun to roll dice. Like, this is like an exciting thing for
Take
me, at least.
5 more points for Jackie for training.
Nice.
Y'all do not get lost. And let's see, just so I can fall on this side, you went 1, 2. On the 3rd day, when y'all were back over here, the election took place in Sheer. So whatever happened there happened. No, that would have been the 4th day. It would have been this when you're right here. It would have happened. 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all are there now. Bonk. And then another 4 to get you all the way to Vacuo. Each of the same things again. Alright, Thicket.
What?
You can roll your 4 advantage checks again.
Okay. I'm trying to
roll
prepare
that people
spells.
get footage.
Fair enough. John, you can also roll yours. The 4 random d20s. For randomized encounters.
Uh-oh, it got quiet.
I was gonna say this music is too happy, and then it stopped.
I'm focused trying to pick out what spells I want to prepare.
The second
I would-
day, as you are traveling through, you find, as you're through a fairly open area, you find what appears to be almost some sort of shrine. A bronze brazier set up, and behind it is a statue of a dwarf wearing very Viking-like armor, a helmet with a broken horn on it, an axe in hand, but it appears to have been pushed over or fallen over off of its pedestal. It is lightly raining. As you find the wet bronze metal, having put out whatever fire was here in the brazier.
Can I make a religion or arcana or anything like that?
History.
May I do the same?
Sure.
Wait, what are we doing?
They're rolling history to see if they can remember anything about this bronze statue of a dwarf.
Well, I think it has 0 in history, so.
Also, the animal handlings are a net 0. You rolled a nat 20 and 2 nat 2s.
Okay.
So the loss of point and gain of 2 points are going to cancel each other out.
Okay. All right, but total 6 though. That's
Yeah,
still
but you
good.
still totaled 6 over the course of the trip.
Yeah.
John, you would remember this, especially with your time in the Standing Army. You actually vaguely remember this from the combats you were a part of. This is a relatively recent thing. You heard about it. It was after your time. But when the Orcish lord that used to rule Tough attempted to attack Vacuo, and the battles that ensued, you heard about this guy. This was a dwarf by the name of Eliendar. Eliendar. He was a captain. He led a group of 70 men who, in a fight where, like had previously happened, several ogres had been used for effectively artillery, heavy combatants against them. And according to the stories, the ogres managed to basically sneak up somehow, or like during the fervor of the battle, managed to get back to where the primary base for the troops of Vacuo was. And when they arrived there, they began to attempt to go after the tent full of those that were, at that point, had been hurt and pulled back from the battles from that part of the post. And when the orcs had attacked, it was effectively this outpost where they'd been. And as they were moving people, Eliendar, the captain, stepped forward and began to guard the infirmary, and ended up taking down 2 ogres before a third one struck him down.
Wait, so this is a statue of the dude that was guarding the infirmary?
Yes, this is the statue of that captain, which ended up dying after having taken down 2 ogres himself. On his
Guess
own.
I'll tell everybody. This guy was a war hero. Hey.
All right. Well, how do you, if Doug, you guys want to help me? We can put him back up there, and we can mending him back to make the statue right.
How can I help mending?
No, you help hold him because you're strong, and I can help.
Sure.
And I believe, John, you have mending as well, right?
I have mending as a cantrip.
Right, yeah. But if it's held up there, then you can start mending the bronze parts of help it hold up, and then we can repair it.
Of course.
How much does the statue weigh?
Well, it's a bronze statue that size. I'm gonna go with 280 pounds. This is me
Okay.
randomly shooting a number, so who knows if I'm right or wrong. If we have any metalsmiths in chat, feel free to tell me what a 4 foot tall, fairly hollow bronze statue of a dwarf would weigh. But between the three of you, it wouldn't even take too long. It would be slightly more difficult in the rain, but between the three of you, and assuming even if some of the merchants would have been able to help, y'all are fairly strong.
You guys need a strong animal.
You need
Yeah.
a strong animal.
I mean, if you could turn into a bear.
Or,
I think now that we've leveled, I can turn into something stronger than a bear.
hey, Thicket, maybe you can get on top of the statue and see if it's level. Like, as we're placing it.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Okay, I went and I did this. I looked at the weight calculator for alloys, and assuming a tube of 4 foot tall with a 4 foot diameter and a wall thickness of 4 inches. So if it's less, that's going to make quite a difference. But that's actually 7,300 pounds.
Goodness, so we'll round out 7,000
If it's-
pounds.
Make it an inch thick.
How thick is it though?
Make it an inch thick. It would not be 4 inches thick. Make it an inch.
Okay.
See how that changes it.
Remind me what we're preparing, or sorry, repairing.
It is a
All right.
statue of a dwarven war hero.
All right, that's less than a ton. It's 1,946.83. So
So you said the tip of the helmet was missing, or that was just how the statue
It's how the
appeared?
statue's designed. His actual helmet had a broken horn on it, so they replicated that in the statue. So let's see.
So we're-
Doug has
Is
a
it as
push
tall as it
drag
is wide?
500. You said it's
Is it as-
1,900 pounds total?
yeah, is it as tall as it is wide, or is it less wide than tall, or more?
It's less wide than tall.
All right, let's go 3
Make
feet.
it. We'll make it 2 feet in diameter because it is a dwarf.
Okay, that makes it 952.70 pounds.
That's slightly
Yeah.
more reasonable.
A little bit than half a ton. So I feel like what is maximum? My maximum is 330. So if
Maximum is 330. Doug's is 480. John's is
Then
270.
push drag 270.
And
Yeah.
Gambit's is 240. So between the four of you, Doug easily
get up
handle.
there.
Yeah,
And
it would take the four of you and potentially Thicket's help as well. It would not be an easy task.
I can fly now. We could
you could turn into an animal and just pick it up. You could turn into an animal.
tie a rope around it and think it can
Yeah.
help lift.
Yeah, and you can hold it there.
What
And
does
we
Thicket
can-
turn into?
Trying to pick.
Paradox.
A horse could pull that much.
I'd recommend something big because larger size categories increase the amount that they can carry.
We have giant eagle, giant vulture.
I wouldn't
Are
recommend
we wanting
direct
flying?
I wouldn't
So-
say flying. I would
No
say something
flying?
that's heavy.
Brown bear.
Yeah, that's good.
Dire wolf.
Direwolf is good.
Oh, dire
Dire
wolf is bigger than a bear.
fox as well.
4-legged large creatures.
What's your
A lion or a tiger.
up to 2?
No. Dire wolf or a bear.
Yeah. You want a 4-legged large creature because that changes your carrying stuff dramatically.
Can you turn into? Is it just CR1?
It's CR1 and lower, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how that might be.
CR1, up to CR1, and it has to be a beast. But now that I'm level 8, I can do swimming, flying, or running?
Or
Let's
burrowing.
see, what is the strongest large beast you have?
That's +3. That's +3. That's +2. That's +2.
While we're figuring this out,
I think it's actually the brown bear is the strongest. The octopus and lion are both +3s, but the brown bear is +4.
does the shrine appear to have like a tunnel into like underground, like
Looking into the pedestal. Make an
Or like-
investigation check.
Looks like brown bear. Strongest.
That'd either be like tying you to it, pulling from the other side, or like trying to get under it and pushing it upward. Doug, you look through and you actually manage to shift the base a little bit, but no, it does not appear that there's a tunnel hidden underneath it.
Oh, I meant like the little, I guess, house or whatever behind it, like the shed. Like, is it?
There's no shed, it's in an open field.
Oh, okay.
It's just next to the road. Yeah, but between Thicket turning into a brown bear and the rest of you all working together, it would take a couple of minutes, but you'll do eventually manage to get the whole thing back onto its pedestal. Standing mighty in the rain.
And then mending, just we start repairing it.
How long would it take me to mend it? Given I can only mend like 1 square foot at a time.
Effectively resealing it to the pedestal, it would take... How long does bending take? 10 minutes?
No, each mending is it's an action. It's a cantrip. So like but the thing is it's 1 cubic foot or 1 square foot at a time.
But I thought
Which
it was longer than an action.
no,
Even though it was a cantrip.
no.
No.
You're
Yeah,
thinking
casting
of
time of 1 minute.
what?
Takes a minute to
What?
cast.
What?
I can't open my mending for some reason.
Do you press the thing on the right?
Yeah, it doesn't even let me press it. That's weird.
The dragon?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if we ever did that with you. 1 second. On
Gosh,
the
you're-
right side, there is the library section. Can you click on the modules for me?
Feel so bad.
Yep.
And do you have the modules loaded in?
There's only one there. Fungal Brew Revised Weapons.
Okay.
I need to like close out of Fantasy Grounds and go back in.
No. I need to remember how to do it from that side.
1 minute for 1 square foot. That's just
Click activation, and then you're going to want to load 5e SRD data, 5e SRD bestiary, Fungal Brews weapons, Druid Wild Shape Quick Reference Guide, Karagor's expanded options, probably Lushu's Guide to Kitsadria, because that's also going to have spell options, D&D basic rule players, and that's probably all the stuff. If you want, you can do Inscriptor and Hanyu as well. Those are also going to have spell options for you. And that way it should let you see all them, and that might be it. That might be it. It's just that it's a spell that you can't see because you haven't loaded it. But now you should be able to click on it. You were saying, Chris?
I was saying I was wrong, you were right, and that stinks, and I can't believe it's so ridiculous, and good
I mean,
grief.
it's a free action to mend a foot of space. Or rather, a free spell to mend a foot of space. I don't think it's too bad.
I guess it's not horrible in this particular case just because the thing is hollow.
It does make it difficult, though, especially like in combat or when your time is of the essence. But over the course of 5 or 6 minutes, a couple of castings, you would be able to reseal it back to the pedestal.
And then can we fix it the rest of the way if there's any other broken off pieces or bent or anything?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like it sustained it pretty well whenever it fell over.
Okay. Then yeah, I mean it's raining, so we can't really light the thing, but I will go ahead and cast light on it, just to see if it makes any difference. I'll cast light on the brazier.
Casts a nice blue, slightly shifting light. glints off the rain and off the bronze in a beautiful way. As you take your time and continue the next day, that'll be right.
While we were camping, can I say, Thicket, were you able to find any tracks to see if maybe there was some, like, vandals about?
Was I supposed to be looking for that?
No, I didn't think of it at the time, but I'm just curious if it came up.
Did I see?
Not as of yet, no.
I didn't notice anything.
All right. Oh well. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, because we want to honor our heroes, the people who have sacrificed and served and lived for something larger than themselves. Like, for example, just most recently, I think of Maverick, and he's larger than life when it comes to what you might think of with a kobold. So I think everyone who's willing to step out and go above and beyond is worthy of note. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all of you for helping. I appreciate you indulging me in wanting to do that.
On the third day,
I was gonna say John will salute the guy before you leave.
very nice. On the third day, you do find some different tracks that get in a shift in the road that is kind of odd, where it kind of forks. After taking a few minutes to decide, you end up picking the one that you believe is most accurate. But after following it along for a while, you find that it is more of a riverbed. And you're having a hard time finding back where it leads. You're not totally sure where you are.
We lost?
It appears that you are lost.
Oh no!
Should I fly up and try and figure out where we are?
That seems like a simple solution. I say go for it.
I will do that. I will turn into Eagle.
Make a
Wow.
survival check.
Oh, God.
Eagle
Well,
Catbird, go.
Does Eagle
Survival check.
Does Eagle have advantage on sight-based things?
I believe so.
If it does, which would make sense on account of the fact that there's a spell. No, that does Eagle Splendor, never mind.
Eagle Sight has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight.
Yep, make it with advantage. Perception.
Can Doug be sitting with both legs crossed and send his echo up into the air as well?
Just a question. Did we decide that the Echo could fly more or less? I think we did.
I mean, it can like move vertically, so I don't think there would be a reason why it couldn't.
You'd be able to send it up with. They could make your own perception check without advantage.
Do I need to shift to
No,
do this, or can I just do
it would use your mental stats anyway.
Do you want in tower or box?
Tower.
Oh, where is my tower?
I don't know. It looks like a rook.
Oh, I moved it to the top middle section because it was in the way.
Enough.
You said perception.
Into the tower. Doug, you see hills off to the left and down, and Thicket. You're able to, in eagle form, you do spot in the far distance, probably at this point like 50 miles away. You do see the visage of a large city to the north, and with the hills and everything, you're able to kind of figure out back where you are.
You said 50 miles?
Yeah, each octagon is about 22 miles.
How high up did they could fly?
I don't know how fast the Earth curves. How far can you see with the curvature?
A giant eagle
of
can
the
fly
Earth?
80 feet.
Well, yeah, but that's in a round.
Yeah. Which means he could fly fast. It
You
would
need
not,
to be.
it would not take him long to get to a vantage point where he could see.
13. You need to be 1,300 feet in the air to see 50 miles.
I'm just good like that.
How
The-
high
Vacuo is huge.
can a eagle fly?
But I mean, we should be
10,000
able to.
feet or more. Okay, it's probably good enough. I'm gonna hand wave it. Yes, you can.
So, you know, it's the
The eagle
hugest
went up to 10,000.
ever vacued. Vacuo is so huge.
Vacuo is. I mean, it is a big city for one.
It's huge.
It
It's huge.
it is miles across for
the
sure.
biggest ever built.
In
Oh, soon.
Vacuo, for sure. In the country, yes, it is the largest city. It's technically not the tallest city, but that's an entirely different question.
But there would be roads leading to it, right? So it's not like it's just.
Yes, you'd also be able to spot the road back where you are.
And all roads there, or
All roads lead to Vacuo. Anyway, make 2 more advantage survival checks to get there.
Advantage.
Check the weather.
Survival.
According to the weather, it is clear skies and light clouds. You're sure not to get lost again. Rolling no less than 25. Garand, you get 2 more points with Jackie.
woo!
As y'all do eventually make your way to the city of Vacuo. On... It is Thursday, the 8th of June, near 417 post-schism. It would be in the afternoon evening, so we'll say it's 5 p.m. or so. The sun is on its way down, but it's actually going to be up for a little bit longer as you are getting into the summertime. It'd probably be up for another hour or 2, but it's making its way down, in the general sense. As you approach this large city, for you, John, it feels kind of home. Not even feels kind of home. I guess, yeah, it feels kind of home. It's distant. It's been a long time, but you remember it. Remember the feelings. You remember the streets. You're gonna know most of where things are. And as you approach, you see the exterior wall, made of mixtures of stone and wood across it, fairly tall to block out any amounts of grim. It stretches out on either end for width of a medieval city. It's at least a few, probably several miles in each direction. I can't remember the exact size of medieval cities. As the wall stretches in different ways, periodically, every few miles, another gate. Largely on the 4 cardinal directions, but there are other smaller gates that appear at different stations. Particularly because the far west of the city, as John would know, does open directly into a lake, that of Lake Vacuo. A fairly large lake off to the west that has a fairly large amount of fishing, swimming, and is a place, especially during the summer, that a lot of citizens will go to spend their time. As you approach the not white but stone walls, you see up above the edge various styles of building getting what looks to be far older as you enter toward the middle. The outskirts that you can see bits over the walls have bits of wood, have some brighter colored roofs, seemingly some made of stone or even brick. But as it looks toward the center, even from this distance, you can tell the stone looks older. Its buildings are taller. In the center of which is a fairly large grand castle that you can see from outside of the city that kind of curves in an almost basin around the middle, with towers going out to the left and right that climb like a staircase out to the back, where 2 large towers flank a smaller set of walls between them. But the one tower slightly taller than the other, but it cascading around to the front. This one large castle that John would know as Malik Castle. As you approach, you see, at this point, especially as people are coming in from their times in the field, as there are fields surrounding all of this city, going out for several miles. Various plants. It looks like there aren't a lot of people that live outside the city walls itself. There are various farms and locations where people might guard during the nights. You don't know if they do it in shifts or if they just leave it be. Lots of fences around the places for animals not to escape. But it does look like residences are typically taken up out of the city. As you get close to the wall, you see from the people coming in from work, it appears that the majority of citizens directly enter in through the gate. But then off to the side of the gate, you see what looks to be other merchants, presumably coming from places such as Tuff and Coquinia, who seem to be lining up, effectively having the goods inspected and being questioned as they enter the town. Thicket, with your perception as well as anyone. I don't think anyone else has a perception above 15, but I'm gonna check. Nope, just Thicket. You'd be able to see, standing atop the walls, while there are guards that are humans or other humanoids, stationed relatively common on the walls, keeping watch, are different colored, often red or orange, some green, some more yellowish. Kobolds, stationed periodically across the wall, looking out into the fields and forest around. As you approach the guards, this checkpoint, eventually the merchants do arrive. As the merchant goes up to talk to one of the guards, another one seems to clock you in your group as he walks over. Adventurers, mercenaries?
We are the first.
Alright.
Have you heard of the messengers?
Messengers. Yeah. Y'all were the ones that caused all that stuff in Sheer, yeah?
You mean save the people from being misused as cannon fodder? Absolutely. You're welcome.
Sure, I feel like I don't know the full story behind that. All I know is that stuff was taken over. What happened?
The previous lord decided that he wanted to make a war against the queen and was going to conscript his citizens to do so. And we were not okay with that, so we stopped that.
We appreciate it. We wouldn't have liked to kill any fellow countrymen. I don't know if there's a word for Vacuoians.
Vacuotions?
There's not really a name for it, especially because there's... Vacuoans. We'll go Vacuins. Vacuums? No.
Evacuate.
Evacuations? No. We'll go with Vacuins. There we go. We're going to settle on Vacuins.
And Diegans.
Our fellow countrymen. We appreciate you stopping it. Said to the messengers, can I get the names of the whole group for me?
Certainly. I am Garond Evenstar.
Evenstar, as he has a notepad that he's writing the names down.
Sure. This wonderful gentleman here is the mighty Lord of Nature, Thicket.
Thicket waves.
Honest. He writes down.
Does he say that as he writes it?
He does.
I don't think I'm a faunus.
It's also
What are you?
I am a cat.
I'm gonna put faunus just for paperwork reasons, if that's fine.
I guess.
And Thicket, and who else?
This wonderful gentleman here, fantastic soldier at arms and excellent dispatcher of foes, the mighty Doug.
Doug.
with an
Any
O.
affiliations? Which I guess
What?
for the first three of y'all as well. Any affiliations, groups, organizations?
The messengers?
Well, I'm just noticing as he points to Doug. I see the orange sun tattoo. Active member?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you want to show up, I think it's in the northeastern side of the city is where their base is in Vacuo. Or at least in this city. I know the main place is over in Coquinia, but if you're checking in, that's where they'll be.
Thanks.
And who's next?
A bard of no small renown. The very capable and talented Sir John.
John, is that spelled with an H?
2 N's.
2 N's there. Okay, and the last one.
That's just Gambit. You don't go. He's
And Gambit. Are there any last names or affiliations I need to be aware of for any of you?
I don't believe so.
no. It turns out my uncle is the lord down south.
Well,
I don't know if that counts.
I mean, it doesn't mean much to me.
I've never
What
really
does
met.
affiliations mean?
What was that?
What
I-
is I want to know what affiliations mean.
Affiliation is a group or a place you're connected to. Like if you're, so technically, I am
I
Albert.
have friends.
Well, that's good. I guess would just be the messengers would be one of your affiliations. Like I am Alfred of Basalt because that's where I was born and raised. So if it's anything like that, that would technically count as affiliation.
Thicket sticks out his paw and goes, "I'm Thicket from the forest."
From the forest.
That's
See,
beautiful.
that's kind of an affiliation, kind of.
It counts.
It counts.
The Lord of the Ha is my uncle. I've never met him, but
Oh.
there you
Right.
or I might have
Orwin?
met him as a child when I was little. But anyway,
Well, maybe I'll see him in a few weeks. And,
Right, I hope-
what's your business in Vacuo? I can see
Um,
you're escorting these the merchants here, but what's your business?
I'll just hand him the invitation to the solstice celebration.
Over. Okay, that's good enough for me. You're all welcome in. Yeah, merchants looks like as he looks over the other guy finishing talking, and they had a couple soldiers look through some of the caravan. Looks like everyone else is good. Welcome to Vacuo. Oh, you're adventurers as well. I need to let you know. He points up to the walls. You're gonna see kobolds in the city. Don't kill them. I know you might be used to some of the wild ones out there, but especially in the city, those in cities.
We have many kobold friends.
Good. If they're wearing purple, that means they work for the queen. She doesn't like when people hurt her kobolds. I wouldn't recommend doing so. That doesn't mean they have free reign or anything. You're always allowed to defend yourselves if they attack you. Just don't kill them if something happens. Bish,
We will try our best not to murder.
please do. I would really rather not have to interact with you again, no offense, but normally if I have to interact with adventurers after they come through these gates, it means they did something wrong.
What is your name?
Alfred of Basalt. I mean, technically I just work the gate, but, you know, occasionally you have to pull together a troop to fight adventurers that are going a little bit beyond what they should. Oh, Godspeed. Good night. Couple of inns.
Is there one you'd recommend that would be good for a bard or two to perform and maybe make a little coin?
Do.
I've heard of the do. They have,
Do.
they have good.
Well, there's the rather homey place, my personal preference. The Dapper Bee.
Are there any famous touristy interesting places?
1 second. Mike is looking up other names for inns because he realized he forgot to name the two. He just wrote notes about the two of them. And the Quaint Cup.
All right. Well, since you prefer the Dapper Bee, what do you think is wrong with the Quaint Cup?
It's got a charming enough name, but it tends to be the more. If you're gonna get into a bar fight, it's gonna be at the Quaint Cup. Nice place. Most of the clientele aren't too bad, but they tend to be more rowdy. The Dapper Bee is more homey. It's a place that friends take their kids, that kind of stuff. It's fairly large. It's also connected to a meadery, hence the Dapper Bee. Best drink in Vacuo, if you ask my opinion.
I do like mead. Dapper Bee it is for me then, thanks.
Yeah. Anything
Is there
else you
a
need to know
flower
about?
shop?
Flower shop. I don't know one of my off the top of my head, but I don't normally shop for that kind of thing.
You're not married then, huh?
No, I've been trying, but it's just not as simple as it used to be, right?
The Pieces of Avalon, whereabout is that located in the city,
Oh,
please?
Piece of Avalon. That's going to be, well, I guess near the main center of the city, where the castle is. Around there tends to be what's referred to as the Merchant District. It's going to be where a lot of your different shops are going to be. The Piece of Avalon is going to be south and just a bit to the east. So actually, as it points behind him, if you follow this road all the way down to get to the castle, you'll left a couple of blocks and then go back south a block or two. So technically, you could just stop, a block before the end, and then turn left there, go 2 blocks, and it should be on one of those corners.
All right, towards city center, thank you. And the Dapper Bee is where in location, please?
It's going to be slightly to the northeast of the city center, technically closer to the army base, but it's actually going to be a little bit further east. No, I'm wrong. It's going to be actually a little bit to the northwest on the opposite side from the army base, closer to that exit. Since, I guess they got the prime spot for watering for all their flowers and everything.
Oh, yes, good. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Actually, I think that's a good reason to possibly get some other flowers as well. There could be someone who's a fan of, tending that garden for the bees, and that might be a good option.
I just want to buy a flower.
All right. Is there anything else that you think would be of benefit to us as first-time visitors to your wonderful city?
There's the college, but of course you're already going to go there. Well, let's see. There's the Temple of the Three Gods. Lots of people like that. Say it's a nice place to visit. But that's all I've really got. There are a couple of different landmarks. There's a in the front of the courtyard for the Malak Castle, there is a rather large fountain that's set up and designed with various statues. A lot of people like there, go on dates. It's quite common to see the kids there. But that's all that comes to mind.
All right. Thank you very much.
Happy to help.
And I'll bid farewell to the merchants and thank them for the food and the company. And I will wait for my friends before I start heading towards the Dapper Bee. And if they go somewhere, I'll follow them.
Well, where are y'all going? As y'all enter in, and as everyone enters in, I need to check something and then have y'all do something. There you are. Bonk. Everyone make a charisma saving throw except for John.
Okay.
Well, that just seems unfair.
He wouldn't resist it. He has no reason to.
Alright.
You would succeed and you would not notice. You would not realize you're making any sort of save. Think it fails.
Alright. Ooh.
I'm going to make one for Gambit. Gambit is going to roll charisma saving throw. He has a +4. You rolled a 2 + 4 is 6. So, Doug, you would not notice, but you failed the save. Thicket, Garand, Gambit. As you enter, as you cross past the edge of the walls, you feel safe, relaxed, and calm. Even a little bit happy just being here. It feels like a good place to be. And John, you feel the familiar sense of home wash over you. As even Gambit would feel his anxieties wash away a bit. as everyone feels more relaxed, except for Doug, who doesn't notice. But you still have your faculties about you. It is not taken from you or anything.
I mean, I think that makes sense since Doug was or is a part of the mercenary group that is here.
Well, there's one base here. The main base is in Kokina. You actually probably haven't been to Vacuo before. But you still, for other reasons, may not have felt the calm wash over you with how calm you always are anyway.
I was gonna say, like, his rage doesn't seem much different from his calm, so it's funny, like, because like every time Doug rages, like we don't see him like yell or scream or like revel in blood or anything weird or whatever. He's just like, he just looks a little bit more intense, a little bit more focused.
Yeah, I think the only thing I said was like he seems to be a little more like jagged, and his echo is a little more staticky, and he appears to get more scales.
Cool.
Where would you like to go first?
We're in the inn. That one.
You are in. You have just entered Vacuo. You can go to the inn. You can try to go to a piece of Avalon or elsewhere. What would you like to do?
What time is it?
I mean, it's almost nighttime, isn't it?
It is roughly is just after 5, so you've probably got an hour and a half of light left.
Probably would be wise to go to the inn and secure a place to sleep.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Alright, as the party heads north, passing close by the castle, which you do see the large fountain as well as like grass and basically a large park in front of the castle. This large courtyard, more really stretched out in front of it that you'd pass around. Lots of people are out and about even at this point in day. Some people appear to be shopping. You see children actually playing in the fountain. You don't get any bad sense as you're walking through. You don't even really see a necessarily slum-like area, at least not in the areas you pass through. And as you eventually get to this fairly large, welcoming-looking tavern with a thatched roof over the wood, a fairly large stable off to the side, as this tavern does seem to have like the separate additions have been added onto it. It looks like the roof or like the second floor was added on later, as well as a larger section out back that's joined by a hallway of sorts that leads out to what you imagine has more and more bedrooms and places to stay. As you enter into the rather large dining room, this 2-floor front of the tavern, a bar on each level. It appears the bottom one has more toward food and that kind of thing, whereas the top is more of the drink type bar. Tables spread out across the way, a fairly open front a fairly open
foyer
stage in the center of the room that you actually see several people just dancing on. A musician playing effectively a set of bagpipes off to the side that people are dancing to. As it appears at this point, even on a Thursday, as it's getting down to 6:30, there are quite a few people in the inn at this point. As you make your way over toward the bar and where you'd see kind of the registration desk, effectively. You walk over, you would see a human woman turning around to greet you. What can I do for you today?
Well, a few things actually. First, we would like to procure a room. We should be here for at least a little while, so something, accessible and whatnot.
Just one?
I think one's probably fine. We have, it's 5 of us. Are the rooms large enough that 5 could fit comfortably?
We have some rooms that are designed more for families that would work to that stage, if you don't mind having bunk beds for a couple of you.
I can't see that being a problem. Is there any arrangement whereby my compatriot and I might perform for the tavern and offset some or all of the cost within relation to rooms and so forth? And do you have anything like that?
Performers, I see. We do have performers that come fairly often. Most of the time it's first come, first serve. People perform. Sometimes people will reserve specific nights or specific times. We currently have tomorrow and Saturday are booked, but it looks like next week is largely open if you want to register ahead of time. You can also just start performing during the afternoons and evenings, but typically after 8 o'clock it's the reservations. Try not to get too in the faces of the clientele. However, we typically don't, because we are so busy with people trying to get their performance and get attention from the crowds, get their name out there. We don't typically maintain rooms for them, but you're welcome to try and make back whatever amount you'll spend on the room. The room will be 1 gold piece a day.
All right. That room is 1 gold piece. Does that include dinner, breakfast?
Yes, it will include dinner and breakfast. We typically don't do lunch. However, the lunches are fairly cheap if you'd like to purchase as well.
I think that's more than adequate. Is it too late for dinner this evening?
No, not at all. You're here just in time. The special for the evening is actually a roast that's been cooking all day.
All right. I will go ahead and pay for. Let's see. Today is Sunday. Oh no. Sorry.
It's Thursday.
My goodness, it's been such a long time already. The time flies when you're having fun. So it is Thursday. And then you said Friday and Saturday are already busy. So let's pay for tonight, Thursday, to Friday, and then Friday to Saturday, and Saturday to Sunday, and then Sunday to Monday. So that's 4 gold pieces. Would that be sufficient?
Yes, that's 4 days. You'll book until the day of Monday. Yes, you can book ahead of time. Perfect. He turns around and grabs a set of keys for you. Well, you have 2 sets of keys to the room. But hopefully you can divvy them amongst yourselves at whoever needs it at a given time. She will happily take the money and hand off the keys. It's going to be, as she points out to the back, out through this long hallway. You'll go down. It should be, as she checks the label and the key again, be 5 doors down on the first floor. To the left.
Excellent. Just to clarify, that's all 5 of us, dinner and breakfast? Or
Yes.
is that one? Okay.
The
All
room
right.
is for 5.
All right.
If you've gotten a 1 or 2 room, it would have been slightly cheaper, closer to 2 or 5 silver pieces.
Not a problem. That's fine. All right. Well, look at everybody. Is everyone ready for some dinner?
Sure. Why not?
Doug, you hungry?
Starved.
All right. Thicket, yeah.
Yes.
And Gambit, you've been quiet the whole trip. I know what you want. Let's go. And so I'll find us a table, and then I'll flag over a serving maid or gentleman.
Yes, there are several different servers throughout the room. It does appear this place is fairly busy. Even during the dinner time, people that aren't staying here, quite a few people come here to eat and drink. It's quite popular. It's definitely more bustling of an inn than you've been through in this entire time. I mean, technically fewer people than the amount that they were at Vane for your performance, but for just a regular inn night, quite busy.
Right. Yeah, and it's Thursday even, so it's not even like full on weekend.
Yeah. It's not packed, but it's busy.
Then I will, when the server comes, I will inform him or her of the welcome we were given and the gentleman's recommendation of the mead, and I will ask him or her what meads they have available, and if they have a personal favorite of what's available tonight, then I will buy a bottle of that for the table. And so whatever that total is.
Oddly enough, the randomly determined flower that I've chosen for this one is it's been aged for a year since the winter before last. It is their goldenrod made with flowers that are fed, or bees that are fed specifically off of the goldenrod fields to the north, which, funnily enough, Jocelyn would die if she drank this out of allergies. But I don't think Gambit has an allergy to goldenrod, so you're fine. Then again, I don't know if it would burn out during the
That's fine.
fermentation. But yes, it would be, let's see. You said you're asking for the recommendation? Not necessarily the most expensive, but just the one they recommend. So in this case, it will be the goldenrod, and it will be 9 gold pieces for the bottle.
Okay. Is that bottle enough for the table, or do I feel like I
easily?
Okay. All right.
It looks like they're fairly large bottles. It looks like they're not stingy. They're a bit larger than wine bottles. It looks like each bottle has roughly 6 glasses, maybe 7 if you're doing a little bit smaller.
Okay. All right. And then anybody that doesn't want one is fine. I know Thicket has not always enjoyed everything. I think Thicket did like the mead, but hasn't liked anything else as far as alcohol goes. So.
Well, he's only ever tried mead and whiskey, so.
And he didn't like the whiskey. Did he like the mead?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, mead is supposed to be sweet, so.
It is, and it's a lot lighter than whiskey is.
That's fair.
A bottle of wine that can serve 6 cups of wine is 30 ounces.
Very nice.
All right. I just already took it off my treasure.
It also makes me wonder, like, is that too much? But at the same time, D&D is.
I mean, it's fine. Like,
give
again,
yourself back 3 gold pieces. I'm gonna say 6 gold pieces.
Like, yeah, that's an expensive bottle of wine.
That seems very expensive.
Well, it's supposed to be like the best meat in town, so
it is.
Maybe they do charge a premium.
Take it down to 6 gold pieces. Give yourself back 3.
It's fine. I did, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. It's like, and ultimately, like, you control the money. So if it looks like if you like look at our inventory, like every I don't know, couple sessions or whatever, and it's like, man, I can't. They can't big boy it. They can't throw their weight around. They can't just be like, I want to toss some coin at like an urchin or whatever.
They can't
or
throw the coin to their witcher.
Right, something, So it's like. So then at that point, you just be like, okay, well, either I need to just throw a bunch of money their way, or I need to like dial it back on some of the stuff that I'm charging them, or whatever.
Fair.
But
you know what's interesting though? 6 gold is still like, if you take into account that equivalency thing that Mike put on here.
That made me think with the equivalency thing is like, maybe I should reduce it down to
$100
$1 gold.
for a bottle of mead. Like,
Make it down to 1 gold. The person wouldn't be giving you the biggest thing in the house.
We're getting a family room at an inn for 1 gold, and we're getting a bottle of wine for 6.
Yeah.
Something's not mapping.
Take it back down to the 1 for a very nice bottle of mead.
Okay. Oh, so add back another 5?
Yeah, add back another 5. It's just the 1 gold.
All right.
Okay. I also kept looking at the thing, and the thing of like a common pitcher of wine is 2 silver pieces and a fine bottle's 10 gold. I'm like, dang, you're going from $20 to $1,000 based on the conversion thing we looked at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a jump right there.
There's like in Baldur's Gate, like a big way to like stack up money is like just like snagging the wines, because like if you grab like beers or whatever, those things don't give you a whole lot, but
because in the thing in the player's handbook, ale is like 2 silver pieces for a gallon.
Yeah.
Well, ale is like equivalent to beer, which is just like stupid cheap, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's even like low quality beer, like Pabst Blue Ribbon or something. So.
Sure, we'll say it's you have it, which do.
Yes. Then yeah, I mean,
it's a fairly herbaceous wine. It's got a little bit of a spice to it. It's not wine, but I mean technically mead is honey wine. It's not quite as sweet as some others. It's got quite a bit of complexity to it, with bits of spice, a little bit of bitter on the end, but not in a way that attacks you.
I wouldn't drink a wine that attacks me. Dang.
Yeah. Got a little bit of citrus to it, along with the spice. It's a fairly complex flavor.
Rat on. Well, I mean, I guess it's up to you guys, but do you want to save like this night RP for when Gambit can be here, or do you guys want to just like?
It is 10:20. I do think that is, as y'all are getting into town, it'd be a good thing for us to, if we want to go ahead and stop there. It gives y'all a week to, if y'all want to discuss what you want to do in town. Presumably, over the next day or two, you'll want to go to Pieces of Avalon or some of the other places in town. Go buy a flower, things like that. I'll have to think about how much money makes sense in D&D because I still don't fully understand the D&D economy. Which I'm going to start using.
Vacuo, so think big city prices.
Yeah, big city prices too, but I'm going to start trying to think of like $1 is a, what is a copper piece?
Yeah.
Dollar is...
No. $1's a silver piece.
I thought silver was...
No, I've always done
Sorry,
copper.
you're right. No, copper is $1.
Yeah, because I was thinking like a mug of beer is 4 copper pieces, which makes sense for $4 for a glass of beer at a restaurant.
Yep.
Seems entirely reasonable. At least here in the South. I don't know about y'all up north.
I don't know. I don't get beer at
I
restaurants.
don't know. I don't either, but I look at menus. I like to read as a kid, and I read everything on the menu.
You know what? Surprisingly, nowadays, they usually don't have alcohol prices actually on the menu. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll try and do better with prices. That is one thing that I realized when I was talking to Chris earlier this week, is that I've been relatively stringent with my payouts to the party. Not necessarily in magic items. I've given y'all, I think, a fairly reasonable amount of magic items, but compared to a normal D&D party of level 8, y'all might actually be a little behind on the cash front. So
Definitely.
who knows? Maybe next time you'll get paid a little more than usual for stuff. Who knows? But it'll give y'all a week to figure out what the full plan is, because I'm still not exactly sure on what, like, from what I understand, y'all are wanting to find someone to teleport you to Calcite, research, and then teleport back.
As an option, yeah.
As an option. Alternatively, you could spend, like, if you take 2 days to do your shopping and stuff, that would leave you with, from the 12th to the 21st, to, if you wanted to decide on things you want to do in town, whether you want to spend a week performing, if one of you wants to find a job for a week helping at a herbalist shop, or if you want to train somewhere or do something, you could have a week of downtime, effectively. You could go carousing, you can get some ideas for downtime. I think it's in the DMG. Whatever y'all want to do. I mean, if y'all want to go to Calcite, y'all can go to Calcite. If you want to stay in Vacuo, you can stay in Vacuo. Y'all have friends that you can find. You have a mission that you need to do with getting the book from Simeon, one way or another. You have friends that supposedly live in the city. Y'all could even look for adventure if y'all want to do that. But y'all have a week to figure that out. Figure out what you want to do, where you want to go, what kind of things you're looking after. And if you'd like, just you can go ahead and get an idea. I will probably share the menu, quote unquote, or like the list of things that you would find at the Pieces of Avalon shop, simply to be purchased. That way, whenever you go there, you can kind of have an idea of what you might want to buy.
Is there a town map? A city map?
I do not have a city map.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll make one. I might make one, but I might just theater of mind.
Well, I mean, if it's as big as you say it is, that'd be hard to make a map.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just asking because it's like, you know, to whatever. But no, I'm glad we are stopping here because I want Gambit here because like Garon's thought process is like this city is like way bigger than anything we've done before, and I really don't want us to split up at all if we can help it. Like extra more, like above and beyond more normal. Like I really want to like have each other's backs here. So that's gonna be his kind of whole like spiel for dinner.
Fair enough.
I'm still trying to figure out how John's gonna react to this whole situation, to be honest.
I mean, that's the fun thing with your character. If you have background and story here, that could make things very interesting pretty quickly.
We'll see what shows up. I mean, at least as of yet, no one knows you're back on account of the fact that you didn't give your last name at the front gate.
Yeah, that I did that on purpose.
it's fine. I just said, oh, and that's Gambit. He's just there. Same reason. I'm trying to make help him to seem like non-important. Like we're all amazing, and then Gambit just tags along. So therefore, Gambit is not anyone to worry about.
I forgot Gambit. Yeah, Gambit's a criminal, so he doesn't want to be stuff either. Or at least supposed alleged criminal.
Alleged criminal, yes.
And then we got to talk about the whole purple kobold thing because that came up almost immediately.
Yep, I warned you, don't kill the kobolds. Which I guess, I can tell John. John, you would know, having grown up here. It's been a thing for years that ever since Estrella, because she is a half-dragon, took control as the queen, she's more or less got a cult of kobolds that have decided to follow her as the closest thing to a real dragon they can find. And so there is a huge contingent of the kobold population in Vacuo wears purple as their signifier that they serve her and her alone.
Got it.
But you would know about this. It's not uncommon to see a band of kobolds just walking through the streets trying to look out for trouble.
Kobold militia and kobold cops just sounds so great.
Yep, it's a thing. Back when y'all were in the first few towns, a Maverick was offered a pink scarf to put on, or a purple scarf to put on his arm if he wanted to. John would know, the kobolds are often referred to as a group as the Scales of Estrella.
That's so cute, though.
It is pretty adorable.
I love kobolds, man. They're great.
We got XP for this one?
Yes. Let me pull up the party sheet. Y'all will get a little bit of extra XP for putting the dwarven statue back up. It didn't have any magical effects, but it had heart effects.
Oh.
Hey, gotta keep the statues up of the warriors.
Session 64 XP. That'd be 3,200, and then we'll give you an extra.
I feel like if we didn't remind Micah every game, we just would never level up.
I would forget to set the XP sometimes for sure. Bonk. Everyone gets 840 XP. Which, y'all are just over 1,000. Or, I'm sorry, just over 10,000 away from level 9, which is why I'm like, this is a bigger jump than I expected. Because some levels are way different from others. Some levels are like, get 2,000 experience. And the next one's, get 8,000 experience.
Well, I think this is where it keeps jumping now.
It tends to jump at the tiers of play. Typically, like, the jump from 4 to 5 is bigger than the jump from 3 to 4 or 5 to 6.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I think the jump from 8 to 9 is bigger than before or after, and then the jump from, I think 14 to 15 is also big, because they're the different points at which you enter the next tier of play in the way the game is designed.
Okay.
I'm debating on whether or not I should multi-class on my next level.
That's up to you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording side on this for YouTube, and we'll do any other talking and plans we want, and I'll share the shopping list with y'all. But thanks for watching, YouTube. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely night. Goodbye.
Bye.